Avoid all simple carbohydrates. That includes sugar, white bread, pasta, potatoes, and almost all white foods. Every ADD client I have worked with is allergic to sugar and therefore craves simple carbohydrate. Avoid yellow foods such as bananas and corn because many yellow foods contain yellow dye or tartrazine. Avoid many fruit juices such as apple juice, which is high in sugar. For overfocused ADD, your daily intake of complex carbohydrates should be 60% and 40% of protein. Complex carbohydrates are whole grain foods, brown rice, and some vegetables such as green beans, broccolis, cucumbers, and spinach. Proteins are milk, cheese, eggs, meat, poultry, fish, nuts, and soy. For all other types of ADD, 60 to 70% protein and 30 to 40% complex carbohydrates. Aerobic exercise such as running, swimming, or walking is helpful as it increases blood flow to the brain and helps neurotransmitters. An anaerobic exercise such as weight training helps build up blood flow to the bones. A good self-disciplinary activity such as karate, judo, yoga, meditation, or golf improves general self-control. Take vitamin supplements such as a good multivitamin, C, B-complex, potassium, calcium, flaxseed or fish oils, about 2,000 units, GABA, and Dr. Amen recommends those 2,000 units of fish oil a day as it lubricates the brain. For sleep aids, try turkey, warm milk, hypnosis CD, melatonin, GABA, or valerian root. These activities increase serotonin. Brain training, such as biofeedback or computer training for the mind, neurofeedback can be helpful. This activity and the previous rules relieve 30% of the effects of ADD and are therefore not standalone treatments, but they are an essential part of effective treatment. The following rules are behavioral in nature and must be followed for good results. If you feel you can do one more thing before an appointment, you can't. You will be late. You can't start something else until you finish what you're working on, or it never will be completed. Always do the difficult things first. Put what you're working on away before getting something else out. Put it away in a file, not on that pile. Set your clocks forward a half hour to be on time, but pretend the time is correct. Write everything down so you don't forget, or use a recording device that you can play back to remind you. The new iPhone with Siri is a marvelous tool. Use your phone alarm or computer calendar to remind you when your medication or supplements are due. Use active listening skills, paraphrase, validate, and bond with the other person's point of view so you really listen and don't debate and simply think of what you want to say. If you have a project for work or school, make the deadline 50% shorter so that you really get it done. ADD is a mañana or tomorrow disorder. Don't put it off. You won't really do it unless you do it now. Don't be too optimistic. Expect that some crisis will pop up, so don't put things off. I had a past client who was diagnosed with attention deficit disorder, and his wife complained that he was always late. He denied this vigorously. However, when I asked him how long it would take him to drive across town, he underestimated by at least 15 minutes. When I asked him how he could drive the distance in so short a time, he told me that he always made the green lights. This person was actually planning on making every green light for the rest of his life. He had no idea of how bizarre that sounded, and that's typical of ADD. Keep a schedule and put all important dates and times in it. Routine is your friend. Make habits such as getting up at the same time every day so you don't have to consciously think about it. Make an attitudinal shift. People with attention deficit disorder hate schedules and pressure and demand freedom. However, when they put things off, they feel anxiety and they come under criticism. If you do things right away, no one can come down on you and you are truly free from anxiety. Whether you take AdCare or a prescribed stimulant, it is important to view it as a lifetime commitment. There is no cure for ADD, but there is effective treatment. Timing is all important. The sweet spot for either AdCare or prescribed stimulants is 8 to 10 on a 0 to 10 scale of alert, focused, and relaxed without side effects. When you begin to feel at a 7.5, take another dose. Remember that if you miss a dose by 2 hours, it will take a half of a day to feel at your optimum. If you eat any simple carbohydrates, sugar, it will take a half a day to return to your optimum performance. If you skip a dose, it will take a full day to return to optimum performance. If you stay up late and get little sleep, it will take a day to a day and a half before you return to normal, even if taking AdCare or your prescribed stimulant. And if you use alcohol or drugs, it will take a day and a half to return to normal. If the protocol is followed and the appropriate medication or AdCare regimen is followed, those people who have symptoms consistent with ADD, ADHD tend to thrive. Usually, a client is amazed and relieved by their progress, especially when they follow the protocol. It is not unusual to experience 200% improvement within days. However, there are many medical conditions that complicate the treatment of ADD, whether a medicinal or supplement intervention is used. When a client does not respond well, it could be due to the type of intervention, the dosage, or the timing of the medicine or supplement. If those variables are ruled out, the protocol is probably not being followed. However, if everything is fine in those two areas, then it is probable that a systemic condition is complicating the clinical picture. In fact, if any of the following disorders are present, either a stimulant or AdCare will be 30% less effective until that problem is resolved. A thyroid problem, adrenal depletion, hypoglycemia, diabetes, hormonal problems, menopause, fibromyalgia, valley fever, and mononucleosis can all interfere with the effective resolution of ADD symptoms and should be investigated if proper treatment does not lead to exceptional results.